What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Rap Rewind. And we coming back with a different look. Y'all can see more of me now. Can't you see? We heard y'all and we're back. And we hope you like this new edition with the new merch. Yes. We got the new Rap Rewind merch. So check it out after this video. Now, if you ever need lessons on how to pull off high-stakes money heists or scams, then you need to take classes from Birdman of Cash Money Records.
When my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
For the rest of his life, Wayne would be forever grateful for the altercation he had right before his set at the Compound nightclub in Atlanta, because it made him double down on his security detail when leaving the club. No doubt about it, if that situation hadn't happened, he would have been a dead man walking. Just a few minutes after cutting his performance short at the Compound nightclub, Wayne and his crew bounced from the club, still amped up on adrenaline, until that rush got swapped out for straight up trauma. At around 3:30 a.m., Lil Wayne, along with his team, including his manager and close associates, were driving on Interstate 285. Their police escort had peeled off earlier, and they had no idea what was coming next. What they didn't know was that a white Chevrolet Camaro had been trailing them as they crossed onto Cobb County. When the timing was just right, someone inside the Camaro opened fire, spraying bullets at both Wayne's tour buses, clearly targeting the rapper himself. Wayne and his team were lucky enough to have escaped a free ride to death unscathed. But of course, not without traumatic memories of that morning. Video cam footage and eyewitness reports would later identify Young Thug's road manager and the partner of Birdman, Jimmy Carlton Winfrey, known as Pee Wee Roscoe, as the primary suspect and shooter in this case. But the story doesn't end there, because apparently that hit didn't go down without Birdman's blessing. Let's rewind the tape a bit. In December 2014, Lil Wayne publicly aired his frustrations with Birdman and Cash Money Records, blaming them for the delay of the release of his long-awaited album, The Carter 5. At first, the media barely picked it up, but everything changed in January 2015 when Wayne officially decided to go head-to-head with his former boss. Wayne filed a $51 million lawsuit against Birdman and his label, citing a breach of contract, failure to pay a $2 million bonus upon delivery of the album, and a slew of other issues. Now, Birdman, he demanded respect on his name, but played dirty with the game.
When my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
The beef between the two parties suddenly gained traction and put Birdman under a bad spotlight, as this was not the first time that Cash Money was accused of ripping off young rappers of their hard-earned money. Now, just as any record label owner would, Birdman tried to get Lil Wayne to drop all his legal pursuit. But, of course, all those attempts ended up being a big flop, therefore leading him to take a more vicious step. Damn, always family. Now, according to the feds, Pee Wee Roscoe's attempted murder on Lil Wayne was a joint conspiracy between Birdman and Young Thug, according to the feds. I didn't say it. Both named as co-conspirators, but we gotta say, they were never indicted.
Birdman originally denied any involvement in the shooting, but if prosecutors have their way, he and Thugger could be charged as co-conspirators.
Pee Wee was accused of not only having trailed Wayne's entourage with a couple of blood members, but he was found to have FaceTimed Young Thug right before carrying out the hit, and after the police escorted Lil Wayne's entourage out of the compound. Rookie mistake. After trying to flee the scene, Pee Wee called Birdman. Talk about playing yourself. He then tried to hide the Camaro, wipe photos of the car from his Instagram, and book a one-way ticket to Miami. But let's be real, Miami isn't exactly the end of the earth. The case eventually ended with Jimmy taking the fall for both Birdman and Young Thug, with an initial sentence of 20 years, 10 years in prison, and 10 on probation.
Man who shot up tour buses belonging to rapper Lil Wayne pleaded guilty and accepted a 10-year prison sentence. He had until today to take a deal. Channel 2's Cobb County Bureau Chief Ross Cavett live outside the courthouse with why the DA's tough stance on gang cases may have persuaded the gunman to take the deal.
Man known on the streets as Pee Wee or Roscoe will spend 10 years in prison. The district attorney here in Cobb County believes the gang problem is getting out of control in Cobb and really the metro. We told you about a case last week in which his office asked the judge for a 350-year sentence in another gang case, so it's likely Jimmy Winfrey saw the writing on the wall.
I think it was best for the client to do this and avoid the massive risk if he would lose even on a single count in this case.
Manny Aurora believes his client, Jimmy Winfrey, could have beaten most of the 27 charges in the indictment. But the prosecutorial mood against gangs and gang members in Cobb County is tough.
Anytime you say the word gang and there's an African-American individual, prejudices rear their ugly head, and that's just the reality of the way it is.
Winfrey will spend 10 years in prison for the April incident on I-285, where two buses belonging to the entourage for rapper Lil Wayne came under gunfire. Prosecutors say a simmering rap feud and gang tensions led to it. They believe they could pin Winfrey as the gunman. He was indicted on 27 counts, including a rarely, if ever, used charge that references domestic terrorism. The charges Winfrey pled to are gang-related counts. DA Vic Reynolds making no apology for his take-no-prisoners approach to gang charges.
If you come to Cobb County, you shoot at a bus. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but this gentleman shot at a bus over some beef that started in Atlanta. We're not going to tolerate that.
Either you can see the time of day on a 10-year sentence, or you're going to be serving 200, 300, 400 years, as the DA has professed publicly that he would ask on every single gang case.
Well, that domestic terrorism charge was one of those dropped in this particular plea deal. Winfrey faces unrelated charges in other jurisdictions, but again faces now a 10-year prison sentence in this case.
Later, a recorded call between Birdman and Pee Wee Roscoe leaked after the shooting. In the call, Birdman is heard encouraging Pee Wee.
The driver's attorney points to phone records showing Young Thug called Winfrey 8 times in the moments before the shooting. They also point to this jailhouse call between Winfrey and Birdman.
You come out here and get your money, nephew. Your money, you done blessed. You did everything you could do, bro. It's an eye opener, bro. Yeah, you on that strictly business, man.
According to some reports, Birdman promised Pee Wee $250,000 and a Porsche for carrying out the shooting and taking the fall. But it's unclear to this day if that promise was kept. However, luck was on his side in 2018 when his sentence got reduced to 7 years after pleading guilty to all of the charges.
And how do you plead to count 24, the possession of oxycodone?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
And lastly, how do you plead to count 25, which is possession of a firearm by a convicted felon?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
And Mr. Winfrey, is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of all the charges against you, sir?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that you may only have a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes, sir.
Now, the allegations that Birdman attempted to kill Lil Wayne still fly around, but no one has been able to prove them. Just in case you think that's the only time Birdman has been involved in public criminal activities, you're in for a shocker. He has been accused of several crimes, including sexual assault and harassment. In December 2001, Nicole Westmoreland claimed to have been invited at the age of 19 to a recording studio under the guise of presenting a business proposal to the Cash Money bosses.
Ms. Westmoreland told jurors here in a civil proceeding that Brian Williams invited her to the rented Atlanta studio to do a presentation for his employees. Once inside, though, she says Williams left her in a lounge area. After a while, a Cash Money employee, Mr. Cleveland, followed her to a restroom and hemmed her up inside.
What she did not know was that this proposal would lead to engaging in illegal drug use and explicit sexual activities that will continue to haunt her for the rest of her life. During her short, regrettable visit to the recording studio, Nicole was assaulted in the restroom by Alfred Cleveland, a known associate of Cash Money Records.
He bit me on my cheek, and I was just like, I tried to pull his hands down, and he turned me around.
What happened?
He turned me around, and he pulled my jeans down.
And we all know that old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Birdman and his brother was notorious for similar and even worse crimes than assault and harassment. And this assault would later drive Nicole to having suicidal thoughts and seeking support at a mental health facility. She eventually sued Birdman and Cash Money Records in 2012, claiming that their negligence led to her sexual assault.
And he told them to stay right there, and they knew what was going on.
Nicole Westmoreland tries to maintain composure, recounting a sexual assault that took place at a record studio. This man, Alfred Cleveland, is serving prison time for the attack. Cleveland was at one time an associate of record label moguls Ronald Williams and Brian Williams. And the young woman is holding their company, Cash Money, responsible for the attack.
Nicole revealed that label representatives offered her $100,000 to remain silent and to withdraw her lawsuit. But when they realized that she couldn't be bought, they threatened to kill her at Birdman's orders.
Westmoreland claims she was offered cash, $100,000, not to go to police. She refused. But then she told jurors the company allegedly turned up the heat.
That if I didn't drop it, that they were going to kill me.
Nothing screams guilty more than an attempt to obstruct justice. Birdman and Slim refuted the allegations, claiming that Nicole was only an acquaintance and not an employee like she's claiming to be.
Jim Cox, the record company lawyer, refuted the purported telephone threats. His defense, though, in a nutshell, was laid out in this question to Westmoreland.
That Brian Williams or Ronald Williams had any reason to know or believe that Mr. Cleveland, we'll call him, was going to attack you before he did.
However, one question that keeps bugging people's mind is if Nicole is just a nobody, as everybody's claiming, and the associate is innocent, why the threat to her life? I mean, I guess just like in Wayne's case, this is something that we'll never know. Birdman may have built an empire, but he surely built them on several shady deals, allegedly. So that's all we got for now, y'all. So listen up. Go ahead, comment, like, and share. And while you're at it, share the merch. Yes, do that. Thanks again as always. Peace and blessings.